President's Day. Yeah, it is President's Day. We don't get a break for it, but we can just say government stuff gets off, just not us. All right, main deadline that's here, that's with us now. Did microphone help for back? Mike? Yes, Mike? Yes. All right. Here we go. How's the sound? I hear something. There we go. Cool. So main deadline that's here is finishing up this first case problem that we've been working on together. So there's a lot of stuff that is probably the same from one submission to the next, of like, we all identified differential equations, we all had free body diagrams, then we all solved those differential equations. The different part comes from, like, what do you get out of this? Like, why did you do it? So taking some time to think about what's important about either the solution or like what graphs you want to put together. And that's where hopefully you've had some time to like think about that and get that done. So I wanted to take like 2 minutes. You can either talk to your group about what you have currently, or talk to somebody else and ask them what they are doing, like what works for them, and what they are submitting for this. Sound good? Are there questions before we try that, or try sharing some work first? No questions right now? All right, so take like 2 minutes, share like what you've done with somebody else, either your group or a different group, and then we'll go from there. Cool.
I watched 6 minutes of a 45-minute video. Yeah, so
You have to do homogeneous for me or something. So you learn the first
I learned about
like they're about
Maybe because for the normal force we weren't there. We calculated the minimum as part of it.
I know, I realize, I mean, I know but then cheaper.
It would just be another everything's not very
Okay, so some questions that came up that that would probably help everybody. One is like, what kind of format does this have to be, or like, what is, and another kind of part to that, layer to that question was like, what is an A, like how do I get an A on this assignment? And that's totally fine. And like there's different ways, like there's different ways to approach this, and depending on like what you're trying to say in your stuff, in your like little technical communication here for this case problem, you could make like a Word document is a great way to sort of organize your work of like, here's pictures of some handwritten stuff that support this equation that I derived. Here's some code that made these graphs that compare things. Like if you're trying to make one piece, one like document that describes everything. Another way might be multiple files where you have like a scan of your notes that you had done in class, where you did these derivations and you think they help describe the work that you did, so you could have that. And then maybe you have like a PDF of Colab or Jupyter Notebook that is showing like what graph you made, and then some kind of intro and wrap up of like, hey, I'm comparing 3 stopping mechanisms. I think this is the important part of that, whether it's velocity or acceleration or a different like force, if you care about forces or impulse, then how are you comparing that at the end? Does that make sense? There's lots of ways to do it. And I'm not trying to say like that it doesn't matter. It's not that it doesn't matter what you do. If you're engaging and you're learning something, then that's the most important part. So you're given a little bit of freedom to figure out like, how do you communicate difficult things to other people? That's what we're trying to do. And so the other part about that, this is probably a reminder, but also like kind of stating for this case problem, you'll submit something and the TA is expecting you to do some kind of work. They'll give you feedback, and if you don't like the grade that you get, you can revise it based on that feedback and resubmit it. Like, so the grade, like if you're worried about like how to get the A is like do something, try to get something out of the material, and then when you get feedback, incorporate that, and you'll probably learn a little bit along the way there too. Sound good? It doesn't have to be perfect the one time. Like I want you to try something, and I want you to like feel a little, like struggle through it a little bit, because that's where you'll actually learn something. And I'm not going to penalize you for trying something new. You can resubmit and then get those points back. How's that? Is that okay? I know it's frustrating having someone stand up here not telling you what boxes to check, but this is a small taste of what work will be in about 2 years when someone says, here, do this project. There's no engineering specs at all, and you have to make up all the specifications and build models for it. So this is welcome to life. This is your life, and you get better at it. Every time you do it, you get a little bit better at it, and you gain a little bit more intuition. So we're trying it, and we'll keep trying it again. Other thing that came up was group work. My guess, at least from every person that I've talked to, every group has at least one person where they just don't know someone in the group. They don't know what they're contributing. And I don't want this to turn into like a police state where you have to like report on each other, because that totally ruins our learning community that we're trying to build, of like trying to include people. I know this is going to sound like a LinkedIn BS sort of thing, but it is an opportunity to get some team leadership skills out of this, of like how do you reach out and designate work to somebody that's not contributing. You can only do so much. Like if someone is really disconnected from the class, then it's not on you to make them feel engaged. But reaching out with with what you're currently working on and asking for feedback is one way to start helping. You can also CC me if you're really having trouble communicating, and that sometimes that helps build a dialogue with somebody in the class. And then you can post in your resume hey, I stepped into a team leadership role on X number of projects for my dynamics course, and sure enough you have evidence to back it up with stories about how you actually did that. So that's what I mean by opportunity. Opportunities are funny because they're also just a lot of work. When someone says this is an opportunity, it means that they're giving you work, but you can appreciate it, but it's a little frustrating. And I want to recognize that. It is frustrating. Other big questions that are coming up? What about project-wise? Did anybody hear something different from what they were doing? The way that they approached it? Or if you were talking in your group, was there anything that you weren't, you would have done it differently, but it was good to have the group talk you through a different way? Everybody did the exact same thing? Yeah.
My group made 6 different graphs, and I heard the other groups just made 3 of the objects on one graph and just different line color.
Oh, so visualizing
Yeah.
different ways, different types of motion. Let's run this guy. Yeah, so when you're making comparisons and you're trying to communicate technical results, there is a benefit of showing just one line for one graph, but then it's very hard to compare. So if you're making a comparison of this one stopped in this time, that one stopped in that amount of time, put it all onto one graph, and then that's a nice way where I can point to this in my document and say, look at time 0.1 seconds, the spring brought it to a stop, but then it also launched it back up, versus 0.1 seconds for friction, brought it to a dead stop, and then here 0.1 seconds, it's at a constant velocity, so maybe not stopped, but at least slowed it down. Yeah, so that's one nice technical communication trick. It's if you want to keep them separate, then you have to talk about them separately. But if you want to compare them, put them all on one graph. Yeah, cool. All right, let me check back in, see what else is going on.
One of the equations was figuring out or the minimum matching. Two new cancel out, so it's 2 it's
This is I moved out
It's called like slicing. I think it's the same thing. Mark Max. Okay.
It's a, like, this just gets like, it gets bad if you just go to your very top. I think it was like the first year, so I ended up doing all the work the day before the Zoom. And that was okay because work was easier because the older it gets progressively harder.
You could say the I think the most useful one for that Yes, exactly.
How's it going? Okay. How did it go so far? Oh, I guess we're not at time. We still have like 2 more minutes, right? 5 more minutes? Yeah, we got time. So one question that came up was about the fact that I posted the code that I had shown in class. Like, we were slowly like adding to this code to get to the point of like, how do we make a comparison graph? So one person brought up like, how do I use this code but use it as my own? And the answer is like, it's yours. It's an open thing. Like, if you want to take this code and use it however you want, you can edit it, you can repackage it. And if you want to try to get into Python, but you're not really sure how, this is a great starting point. Like, take something that you know it works. You can edit it if you want. You can ask Copilot to help you edit it, or any kind of AI. Or you could not use AI, go back to Stack Exchange. Does anyone still use that? That's still my main go-to for coding is Stack Exchange. Even though AI still has like collated all the responses in there. But that's how I learned how to code. Take the example, run with it. Okay, so we've had some time. Did anyone find something new when you were asking, like, describing the project? Or a different way? We found different ways of graphing. What about what people thought was important about stopping this thing? Did everyone think that position was the most important plot? Different what? Different points for different graphs, right? Yeah, velocity is important. I heard some people using acceleration. Why would acceleration be important? What would acceleration tell you? Yeah, the smoothest. Smoothest, that would help tell you that. It would tell you what the change in acceleration is. So if you have anything other than 0 acceleration at the beginning, you went from G to something, that'll be it's called a jerk, is a change in acceleration. So that might be worth talking about. Or you can ignore me and say like, no, position is the most important thing, we already covered it, and that's what I'm gonna plot. And that's fine. You can talk about stopping distance, time to stop, and all of that. We good? Ready for the next adventure? Wednesday and Friday, we'll work on a proposal for Module 5, where we get even more open-ended. So if you like this, wait for what's next. Module 2, we'll get back into some more case problems too. So we'll come back and do some more of this work. Cool, thanks.